Hi everybody, Kelly here. Thank you again for coming to my channel. I'm super excited you're here. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about bioidentical hormones. I wanted to start with my first video being about this because I just started it. I know when I was looking for information on YouTube, there was very limited information from real women who were going through it and giving their true opinion of how it was going. I saw a lot of doctor videos, doctor offices, people who worked at doctor's office, but not a lot of women who were really telling their experiences. So that's a passion of mine now, is to share that so people don't go through that like I did. Um, so I'm going to start with that. And as we go through videos, every now and then I'll pop up a video about how it is going. So a little bit about myself as far as my hormonal, I guess, history. I had my children very young. And it's not a great time for me, but I had them at 18 and 22. My second one, I actually had a tubal ligation done the next day, and I would love to do a video about that too. I'm going to do one the next day. So that made me not need to be on birth control, but I did stay on birth control, I would say on and off most of my adult life, um, to keep my periods regular and to help with acne because I had really, really bad acne in my 20s. So it helped a lot with that. I don't know if the reason I am where I am at 46 is because I had my children so young and did not have any children in between. It could be. I don't know because I have heard like pregnancy does help your uterus, your hormones not developing fibroids. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's what I've heard. So I was on that. I didn't know a little bit later on that I had fibroids, but they weren't out of control yet. Just really bad, kind of pretty bad cramping, um, and heavy periods. Well, you get into my 30s and late 30s, and something completely changed. My uterus basically hated me, and I mean hated me. I started, bleeding heavily. Cramping was out of control. It was sporadic. Um, just everything you can think of. And then about 5 years ago, it was so out of control that I could not control the bleeding at all. I had tried even going on, I had read about bioidentical hormones, so I did try like progesterone cream from Amazon. That may have been the worst thing I could have done. I don't know, but it did not help at all. It's not controlled and nobody's monitoring you, so that's not good either. Tried birth control pills. I had to take two birth controls a day to control the bleeding. It was so bad that I would literally wake up in the middle of the night and my bed was completely saturated with blood. That's not good. It was like a freaking horror movie. I kid you not. I'm just being really transparent here. It was gross. Um, I had to do something because it was starting to affect my life on a daily basis. So I went to the doctor. We were going to do the IUD because it has progesterone in it, and I suppose it was supposed to help. They couldn't even get an IUD in my uterus because it was so jam packed full of fibroids. It was not a great experience. So it was decided to have a hysterectomy, and that was 4 years ago. And when I had it done, they left my ovaries, and I felt like a new woman when it was over. I can't even tell you. I felt free. I didn't have pain. I didn't have periods. I lost some weight. Maybe it's because the weight of my fibroids, they were so huge. I have photos actually, and if you want me to email it to you directly, I will, but they're really gross. Um, so I lost some weight, was feeling better. But I would say about 8 months after that, I my hair just started shedding, and I mean shedding, and it freaked me out because I mean I have long hair. I've always had long hair. I think all women are a little bit vain about their hair. So that was a big deal. That was like not something I could handle some wrinkles. I could handle some things, but losing my hair was just like something I didn't even know how to deal with it. I went to dermatologist and she felt as though it had to do with the fact I had surgery. Looking back, I don't think she realized the extent of which I was taking birth control pills either. So I think it's going off the birth control pills along with the trauma of the surgery because it has like a delayed reaction. It doesn't happen right away. It takes months later when your hair basically stops growing and it starts falling out. I had a mix of all over losing my hair and having kind of some small amount of female pattern. So our way we dealt with that was this very interesting compounded is some kind of estrogen based drops that you put on your scalp. That was pretty cool. I actually had started minoxidil before that, and that was helping too, especially right here. Um, and I could feel like little stubs coming up. So I mean, I knew the hair was starting to grow back in from that. And I used that, and I went back on spirolactone. If you're not familiar with that, and I may be saying that wrong, but I think you'll figure it out. That is a lifesaver for several things. And I did use it in my past for acne, and it worked really, really well. And it supposedly blocks a certain hormones that come from testosterone that will cause hair loss. So I went back on spirolactone. So with the drops and the minoxidil and the minoxidil, am I saying that right? And the spirolactone, my hair was somewhat under control. I wouldn't say completely, but it wasn't coming out like it was before. And I mean, I still shed more than ever. I did in my life, but it's not nearly as bad as it was then. So I'm like, okay, that fire's a little bit, put out. And then about a year ago, my hair started falling again. I mean, it just started like shedding like crazy. My skin was pretty dry. I have a really great skincare routine, but it was starting to get drier again. And I was irritable and I could not sleep. Could not sleep without like 3 Benadryls. 2 or 3 Benadryls a night would what it would take to knock me out. And even then, I'd be back up. I thought for a little while it was just stress. Tried Wellbutrin. I like Wellbutrin a lot, but it certainly didn't help me with sleep. So I remembered years ago reading Suzanne Summers' books. I love Suzanne Summers' books. If you haven't read her, I highly, no matter what you think of her, I think she's really smart. She's got great information in there to help women. She was a real groundbreaker as far as bringing bioidentical hormones to the general public and educating people and women about the benefits. Um, so before that, it was mostly synthetic hormones, if anything, and she changed everything with what she did. So I remember reading that, first of all, we were not meant to get as old as we do. That wasn't the way we, with science and technology, are living longer than we ever have. Plus, we have a lot of luxuries that help us. Um, but biologically, whether you choose to have children or not, biologically, just like everything else, part of your creation is in order to reproduce. Once your body is not getting those signals that you can reproduce anymore with your hormones, it doesn't really feel, sad as it sounds, like you have any true need on this earth. So depressing. But so you actually start the aging process rapidly at that time. And that's when disease creeps up and you start getting older. So the theory is if you stay on bioidentical hormones and keep your hormones balanced, that will help with the aging process, warding off certain diseases and keep you young longer. And so I was all in about that. I went to an actual endocrinologist and a hormone replacement therapy specialist, got my hormones checked, got the results back, and my jaw just hit the ground. I had no hormones. I had no estrogen, no testosterone, um, no progesterone. And so I went on a prescription from my doctor of pills and creams. And I'm not going to show you the bottle itself, but I'm going to show you what they look like. So I take 100 milligrams. I'm going to tell you how much I take. Yours will be different. or not at all. If you went to the doctor, do go to the doctor. Um, and I take these little 100 milligram progesterone pills at night. First thing I noticed, the day I started taking that, I slept better. The day I started it, I was absolutely stunned. And then after a few days, my compounding pharmacy was done with the cream. And the cream is one half estradiol. And please, nurses, do not get on to me if I say this wrong. And one half estriol. And then a little bit of testosterone, which made me nervous. The testosterone made me nervous. I knew there was a lot of benefits to it, but I also was worried again about acne and hair loss. I stayed on the spirolactone, and the reason the spirolactone is staying is because she says it won't block testosterone altogether, but what it will do is block what it turns into DHT. I don't understand it completely, guys. I'm not a doctor or nurse, have no medical training whatsoever. But it's still supposed to help with hair loss and acne if you're on testosterone. I don't know if that's true. I'm not on it long enough to tell you all the effects that have happened on this cream yet, or the progesterone for that matter. But as I've been on it about 2 weeks, I haven't really had any side effects from either yet. I have had better sleep. I feel more relaxed. I think I'm in a better mood. Maybe that's why I'm starting to vlog. I don't know. I'm starting this YouTube channel. Um, but I do feel okay so far. I haven't lost any weight or anything like that, but I don't really have any weight to lose. I do alternate day fasting or one meal a day, and I can also I'll do a video on that too. I think that's would help a lot of women actually. I might do that next. Um, so I don't really know exactly what the effects are going to be, but I just want to kind of get you guys in on this too, because I am very interested in real women experience with bioidenticals. If you will comment below, let me know what your experience has been, how long you've been on it. Did you go to a doctor to get prescribed? I think that's important too, because I do see a lot of information with people saying, I tried this and it didn't work. But again, they never really went to a doctor. They just are guessing their hormones. After doing this for a while, I will tell you that I truly believe you need to get it monitored and checked by a doctor. And it was covered by my insurance. I was not the compounded uh, hormones, which cost me about, actually, it only cost me $75, and it's good for about 3 months. But the visit itself, the blood test, all of that was actually covered by my insurance. And I was a little bit surprised by that. So that's just a little information at where we are, how I'm starting, my background. So the next videos, all I have to do is kind of give you my updates, and hopefully it'll be pretty short. And I look forward to hearing your experience as well. Thanks, guys, so much for your time. I appreciate it.